Hello and welcome to another update video about gold. So we have a little bit of a change here. I mean, no change to the wave count, at least not yet. Gold is still holding, but it stopped climbing within this ascending wedge. As you know, an ascending wedge can be considered a rather bearish pattern. At least it is a pattern of exhaustion, which would indicate that at some point this movement here to the upside gets exhausted. Ideally, I would have liked to see a push above the wave 3 high, which is at 1820 basically. A move above that level could have pushed us a little bit higher here, maybe even above the wedge to 1850 or so. Now, this is of course not a sign, or not for, we can't be sure that this uptrend is over yet, because we haven't really made a lower low. But as soon as we go below this 1779 level, the previous wave 4 low, I have to assume that this uptrend is over, because then we are going to move into a downtrend. It then would suggest that we are rolling over. It's the wrong tool. That we're rolling over a little bit like that, right? And it would take us most likely then down into the green support area. In the last video I told you that if we break below this ascending wedge, so below the trend line, that is the first indication that this local uptrend or temporary uptrend is over. I can even shift the trend line a little bit. That's probably more relevant, but even here we broke it. And at the moment we are a little bit weak here. Yeah, we are a little bit weak. So gold really needs to keep going to finish off this fifth wave. But in the end, it doesn't really matter, because the two wave counts I showed you, they are fairly similar. They lead to a very, very similar outcome. What were those two wave counts? So we had here the very first wave count, which is the one that you currently see on the chart. That one suggests obviously that a low was made here on the 3rd of November, that basically the bull run started, yeah, and that we had here a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and here now a wave 5 in a leading ending diagonal. And we should have pushed here ideally above 1820. No, we didn't. So, not 1820. Oh yeah, 1820. Yeah. So we obviously fell short and broke down. So this is the first scenario. Again, as long as we are holding above 1779, I think we could continue with this pattern. It's only the first warning, the first indication that the trend might be changing. But to change the trend, you at least need one lower high and one lower low. So we haven't got that lower low yet. That's the first scenario, and if we really break below that 1779 level, I think we're going to come with a high likelihood into this green area. That is based on the Fibonacci support levels, and I might need to shift that up a little bit. No, it's actually fine. So located between 1721 and 1662. That's the first scenario. So if ideally I would have liked to see here one push to the upside. So if we break down now, I can't really consider this scenario, because we would have needed to see 5 up, and that would have been the ideal pattern in my opinion. Now without 5 up, I can only consider that a 3-wave structure to the upside. What would that mean? That would mean we have to change the wave count a little bit, and that's possible looking at the substructures. It's a question of interpretation, but I can also consider this as a wave 1. Have to change the subwaves then, but it would be considered a wave 1. And that we then moved in a so-called A, B, C pattern here with an overshooting wave B actually here at the high at 1824. And we could then be coming down already in the wave C. It's a very, very similar wave pattern. It just suggests that we are already in the wave 2 correction, that we entered the wave 2 correction already here on the 15th of November when we started the decline in this A wave. We then moved up in a B wave, and we're now coming down in C. This is a scenario that I find likely and will most likely be my primary if we break below 1779. The reason for that is that this move to the upside is only a 3-wave structure. So it's perfectly suitable to be counted as a wave B. And then here now the C wave down, and I would consider it a 1-2, and maybe we are breaking down now in the 3rd wave, and that would take us closer to the green support box. Either way, as explained, I think this move is nearly finished, yeah, nearly exhausted. It's just a question, do we break down directly, or do we get a 5th wave to the upside? It won't have a major impact really, yeah. And these are the two generally bullish counts. where we expect that the trend has changed already. And that has some, well, quite high likelihood given the structures that are happening here. I mean, it's the first time since the beginning of this downtrend really that we broke out of this channel to the upside. And yeah, it makes a good impression really. But the real stress test for this scenario will happen when we come down into the support box, because if we don't hold this support, then we're probably going to make a new low. Now, I mean, we are probably getting exhausted. We had a long trade area here, entry area. Within that, we had one more, which was this yellow one, yeah. And we are pushing higher now. And I think we're getting exhausted soon. Maybe not yet. Maybe we push a little bit higher, but it's going to get exhausted soon. This wave 2 correction maybe already started, or it will start very soon. So it's sort of, this was the entry area, long, yeah. This is an area where maybe partial profits could be taken. It's entirely up to you, especially as we're hovering just around this wave X resistance here. So that's obviously a resistance level around that 1820. And if we come down straight away here, yeah, there's a good chance that this wave 2 is unfolding now. And if we don't make a new high, it's most likely this pattern I would go with, A, B, C, where the A wave is already complete, the B wave as well, and we're now in the C wave. If we hold support above 1779, get one more high before breaking down, then it is this scenario I would go with. Again, it's only really in the details here. It doesn't really make a great difference in terms of targets down here. It's really only sort of, yeah, for the more specific targets and to know what's going to happen if we break down straight away, really. Okay, and that's my update about gold. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.